Sparky Coach Lounge Room Pod featuring Brandon Willington from Where You. How are you?
Terrific. We got our workshop today, so it's always a good day when it's a workshop day.
Yeah, let's get. I want to get into what the workshop is because we did your workshop. So Sparky Coach went to your in-person Sydney workshop,
Yep.
and we had the great time. So for ultimate transparency, we don't get paid for this or anything like that. So if you're listening in, this is just a lounge room. Pods for us are just bringing a conversation you have in a lounge room with another business owner to the general punter, general public. Not calling you a general punter, whether you're driving, but you're a weapon. You're the big dog, but you sort of you know what I'm saying. So we did the course and we got so much out of it. So I guess
I'm
so
happy.
talk us through so where you I don't know how many ads I saw of yours before we jumped on the course. Probably on a 20,
I
30.
keep swearing at me.
Yeah, you're swearing a lot at me, but I liked it. And the thing that I liked when we came into the course, there was a question. Someone put their head up, and they're like, "Oh, Brandon, like when you swear on the videos, that's strategic for sales." And I was looking at it, going, "This guy is going to swear at me if I'm in his living room, if I'm in his mum's living room, if I'm in if I'm somewhere else. Like this is just how." And the biggest thing that I took out of you, which is super ironic, I could feel that you were authentic. So whatever you said with your hook or your
Yep.
structure of the ad or your positioning in the market, whatever, I was like, oh, I can tell this guy is legit and cares and is good. So that's why we jumped on. And but talk us through where you looks like now. And you mentioned you're building some kind of bat cave. Talking about
Yeah. So, like we just had our like half decade anniversary. The month just gone in June, so I flew the whole crew out to. I had a bit of a surprise for them. I told them like 2 months ago. I was like, make sure your passports don't expire in the next 6 months because I got us all tickets to Thailand and we got like 2 4-story villas. We went to dinner. All this. It was sick, but it's a third world country, so it's like it's not that fucking expensive. I didn't take them to Europe and stuff like that, but the. We used to be a traditional done for you agency, and we like everyone else, but I had to turn away literally like 90% of the people that wanted to work with us because I did the math. I was like, bro, it doesn't make any fucking sense for you to get us. Like
so
after you've
just stop you there for a sec. Traditional done for you agency. Like
yeah.
what is that? So I would approach you and you would just take yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like the ad agency would typically, log into your Google Ads account. If they're slightly better, they would also build like a CRM system and landing pages and stuff like that. You get like a monthly report and it's all done for you, right? Which sounds great because as a business owner, you're like, I want to delegate this, right? But then it's like the highest possible return on investment you can do is like marketing your business to generate more sales. It's like that's the first thing you delegate. And I had to turn away like 90% of the people that wanted to work with us because I just told them, like, bro, after my onboarding fee and the retainer and the ad spend, like, you don't even have fucking capacity to make profit off this. Like, don't get an agency, whether it's us or anyone else. Just learn how to do the basics yourself. Just go watch this YouTube video. That's actually what I did. I said, I'll go watch this. Come back when it makes more sense. And then, like, one day, someone asked, like, he actually applied to work with us for the second time. And I was like, bro, I'm sorry, but it still doesn't make sense. It was a different business, too. And he's like, bro, come on, this is like the second time. There's got to be a way we can work together. And I was like, he's like, can you like show me how to do it? Just show me how to do it. I'll pay you to show me how to do it. I'm like, I don't want to make a fucking course and be a course bro. And he's like, no, I'll fly to you. I'll fly out to your office. And I go, oh, okay, that sounds like fun. I used to work in events and nightlife. I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, let's do that. He goes, oh, he's like, how much? I'm like, at the time it was like $1,800. I was like, I don't know, $1,800. He's like, yeah, cool, done. And then he's like, what if my wife wants to come? I'm like, oh, she can have half price. She's like, okay, cool, done. Easy as fucking sale. And I went, huh, interesting. And then the next person I spoke to, she was a lady. I can't remember exactly what her business was. I think it was breathwork. And same conversation. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Go watch this YouTube video. She just goes, is there some way we could work together? Like, do you have some free training video or something? I'm like, well, the last guy I talked to is flying to Perth. Do you want to fly in? And she's like, yeah, that sounds like fun. I was like, huh. And then like 4 people in a row that day all bought it. And I was like, that's interesting, isn't it? And then
I love the stories because so often, you've got that personality type. It's like, I'll wait till the C's are perfect, then I'll sail. I'll wait till everything's set up properly, then I'll sail. But it's so often in the sailing where you pivot depending on what the market's doing. And I think staying malleable and moldable and like staying a bit flexible is such a benefit as a business owner. So you've having these like light bulb moments as you go through. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the next thing that happened, right? So we did like, bro, it was so funny because I was like, all right, well, we need to do other cities, right? So we did like, it was like me and like three other guys. It was like 3-4 years ago. We're like boys on tour, like with you national tour. In the space of a fortnight, we did Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth. And then, like, we knew, like, at leaving Perth Airport, we're like, this is going to be fun for, like, the first two. And then we're like, we're just going to get fucking tired. That's exactly what fucking happened. And then, but anyway, I did the Brisbane one. And we had the school platform. Like, you're in school, right? We had the school platform, but it was just to onboard people. So I was like, hey, here's how to set up your ad account. Here's how to set up this. And then we had follow-up questions. Like, there was no support afterwards, but we had follow-up questions like, hey, now my ad's live. How do I make them do better? And I went, like, there was just so many questions. I went, oh, I fucked this up. And so you can actually, if you go back like 3 or 4 years, you can search for my post in school. I made a post saying like, I just realized, it was a very long post. It said, I realized I basically sold all of you half a product. I'm going to keep all of you in here for, at the time it was 12 months, now it's 6 months. I'm going to keep you all in here for another 12 months. Whenever you got a question, just post in school. One of our team members will respond. Or, and then at the time we had like 1 weekly advisory call. If you need us to look at your ad account, just hop on this call. And then that became like the second pillar, which was like, we get your ads live in 2 days and then we support you afterwards. And like, it was all like coming, as you were saying, like sailing with the wind. I was like, oh, now we need to do this. Now we need to add that. Or like people just ask, I never wanted to do an upsell and then people just asked for it. I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck do you want? Like, what about a mastermind? I'm like, okay, I'm doing a mastermind. Who wants to buy tickets? And a bunch of people bought them without even fucking thinking. Or like Copilot. So Copilot's like the one-on-ones. I just like, everyone's like, I want one-on-ones. I'm like, so I just softball. Yeah, it was the Sydney workshop. It was the first one where I did it, where you guys were. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to do this. So I didn't even like hard pitch. I was like, if you want it, this is my email. And I just wrote it on the iPad or the whiteboard. A bunch of people just emailed. And they're like, yeah, I'm keen.
That's so funny because you know, I hate the word upsell too. I used to work in another coaching company who shan't be named, and but they would talk about upsell, and I was like, I literally had to look it up what it was, because I always felt there's a part of insecurity, and this is, I'm talking electrically here, but you walk past someone's switchboard needs upgrading, you're like, oh, it's been like that for 20 years. Yeah, it'd be sweet. Like, you know, there's a part of insecurity that comes into it. I don't want to spend that person's money, and I feel bad. Yeah. And there's also a part of like, when you sort of, the older you get, I was like, oh, the right thing to do is for me to tell me what they need to do, and then it's in their court. So we had a client who was literally worth $1 billion. And I remember I said, oh, that board, you can do it if you want, but this is going to cost like 40 grand. And he's like, yeah, sweet. And I realized that my concept of 40 grand wasn't his concept of 40 grand.
Yeah, it's like 50 cents in his pocket. It's like, yeah, like now? Aren't you cash?
Yeah. No. And,
you want the cash?
That would have been probably like legit back then. But it was so interesting to watch. And I feel like your sales, it's great to have an element of training. And when I kind of realized I wanted to buy your product was when I went into the call. I think we'd already decided. I talked to Cam and seen a bunch of ads, and your I think you call it like the landing page, the VSL. I watched you there, and then I had to fill out a bunch of like stuff, which really annoyed me because I'm like, there's 7 questions.
Yeah. There's so many filters.
Yeah, but it also, I already decided through that process. And then when I caught up with Tim, one of your salespeople, and he was like, oh man, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I was like, well, thank God. This is exactly how we do sales calls. Yeah. There's no pressure. He couldn't care less if I bought it or not. I've got zero concept if he's on commission or not. But a lot of salespeople are on commission, and it's literally like they've never used the program before. They've never been an electrician before. So it's like, well, how do you sell someone a program you've never used in confidence? I know there's testimonials and stuff, but I really appreciated your sales process, I guess you would call it. And lack of process is still a process. It's like a conscious, it's a conscious decision to be like, well, hey, we're not going to upsell these people. It's here if you want it. It's not here if you don't want it. And I think, how do you, because like, I guess, how do you place yourself in that? What encouragement would you have to someone in that genuine market? Because you've got to be obviously really good at your job and confident, but you've also got to like add the, I hate the word upsell, but you've got to add value if you can.
100%.
Yeah. So where do you, what's your thoughts?
This is honestly something that I personally struggle with as well because, well, yeah, you've been at it like the tail end of day two. I talk about sales, and what's the first thing that I do? It's like I had to sell you on the idea of sales, and so I give like I change the example at like almost every single workshop. There's especially because everyone in the room is a service-based business owner. That means they actually have a useful skill that helps people in the real world. They're not like some drop shipping fucking e-commerce dork like selling something off of Alibaba that's never gonna fucking arrive in the mail. Like it's actually useful. Like we've had like addiction coaches come through the program that legitimately save people's lives. We've had fitness people come through that help people lose weight and live longer. Like if you actually think about the second, third, and fourth order consequences of your service, it actually becomes a lot easier to sell. So for the example I give, and I'll talk about Sparkies in a moment. The example I gave was, so I used to have this DJ school, and we had like 5 locations in 3 cities. And I trained, it was during COVID, and all of my DJ mates had lost their jobs because the nightclub shut down just overnight. And so I was like, fuck it, I'll give you jobs as instructors, as sales reps. And these dudes had never sold before. Joseph was a sales rep. Remember Joseph from the workshop?
Yeah.
He never sold in his fucking life. I was like, just say these words in this order. And we were closing like 40%. And I had a semester where I legitimately closed 100%. But I would average like 80%, but the 1 in 5 I wouldn't get. I wasn't disappointed because I didn't get the transaction. I was disappointed because they just spent 30 minutes talking to me about how long they'd wanted to be a DJ. Their family was telling them to get a real job. Their friends don't come to their gigs unless they actually fucking get a free ticket. And no one actually thinks that they can do it. And they just spent 30 minutes talking about that. And I just couldn't get them to mentally overcome this little hurdle of a $2,000 transaction when money is renewable energy, but time is not. They might get to their mid-30s and go, oh, I could have had a stab at this thing to have a little bit of fun in my early 20s, and I wasted my time. I was upset for that reason. The $2,000 in their bank account wasn't changing my fucking life at the time, right? And so when I repositioned sales to come from more of a place of service than transaction, it became a lot easier to sell, a lot lower resistance. Same thing with Sparkies. Like you might not think like, oh, I'm not a Sparky, I'm not an addiction coach, I'm not some fucking life coach or relationship coach. But think about how much time you might actually save someone, how much stress you might save them, that actually lets them be more present with their friends and family. Usually it's not the first order consequence which is really beneficial. It might be the second, the third, or the fourth order consequence of someone's life that you actually see the impact. We used to have a client that back when we were doing e-commerce, they sold Toyota Land Cruiser parts. And you wouldn't think much of, selling a fucking $3,500 clutch. I don't even know what a fucking clutch does. You guys are fucking more manly than I am. I don't know how to change the fucking light switch, right? Don't know how to change a clutch either.
We can't change clutches, but I agree on the more manly part, actually.
Exactly, right? But what are people doing? You think, oh, it's just a clutch, like it's not changing anyone's life. It's like, well, no, they go out four-wheel driving with their friends and family rather than doom scrolling on TikTok in their living room, not speaking to each other. Okay. Right? And you can reposition sales to come more from a place of service than just transactional, like the fucking Wolf of Wall Street kind of vibe. You kind of lower that resistance. You go, oh, I actually help people.
You know what's really interesting, right? Hearing you talk at your and this is probably cool feedback for you to have at your. I think there's a section, Sophie, with copywriting in your course, and I think it was that section, and I was always sort of. Like we've been starting to release, I don't like posting anything member face-to-face testimonials because I feel like if I promote that, it's going out to sort of their target market, like their builders.
I remember we spoke about this,
Yeah, and it's like, I'm making this much money and my revenue's done this and my biceps grown and my penis has increased in size. Well, those are all noble concepts, but as soon as you say, as soon as you say, I've changed my pricing structure and to make more net profit, and then that quote goes out to the person, they look at the different pricing. It's not best for them. But I had this moment, I was like, I was always sort of, we work hard and we work smart. And then I was like, no, we work hard, we work smart, and we're kind. And that was sort of our motto. And in that copyright section, it was like kind of, well, what are you guys doing? Like, how are you? And I was like, oh, well, we work. There's no point working hard if you're not working smart. There's no point working hard and working smart if you're not kind, if you're just a tool. But the thing that we were missing was get results. So work hard, work smart, be kind, get results. And it was in that thing, I just had this, I was like, get results. like we want to get a result too. We want all those four things, and it almost solidified that we're on the right track. In that, I don't know what you call like mission statement, vision statement, or there's probably a concept for it. But I had to write, and then I was like, maybe we'll chuck up on Insta. Maybe our motto is we change people's lives. And I was like, that's a bit intense to write, isn't it? You know, that's a bit intense. And then I was talking to Cam, like, can I even write this? I want to try it on Insta just to see, can I write that? So I wrote, we change people's lives. And I was looking at the results going, hey, one of our members is netting $1 million profit. If that's not life change, you know, what is? Like a couple of members are in that, a bunch of members are in that $600 million profit. A bunch of members have increased their net profit from 12 to 20 or from negative 10 to 10 or whatever the result. It's like, it's all relative to your current situation, but we're improving people's businesses, which is in turn improving their quality of life, improving their quality of family life, improving their quality of time. And it was really interesting. So hearing you talk, Dan, and I was like, and you know, that was my biggest takeaway was, yes, we got some cool ads, but I got so much solidification on our business, what we stood for, what we were about, how we went about that, and that was meant thanks because we put aside time to build in there. So it probably wasn't maybe it wasn't like your goal of that
intended outcome,
but that's what
you get all these light bulb moments. That reminds me of this story. This story is crazy. So I've started telling this story like the intro, like day one, and I still get fucking goosebumps talking about it now, and I will try not to cry because it's 7:30 a.m. in the morning. So I'm from Perth. I was down south in Kangaroo Gully with my girlfriend, and I was doing like a 3-day thinking thing. I basically just go into the forest and I think. It's just like that. And then I write down some of the thoughts. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But I was having breakfast with my girlfriend, and I was just sitting there thinking, and I saw this lady kind of like looking at me, and then she came over just before we left and walked out the door, and she goes, "Hey, Brandon?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "I was at your Perth I won't say her name because it's a personal thing for her." She goes, "I was at your Perth workshop a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't able to make the Perth workshop for my own personal reasons, which I won't talk about because they don't involve me. But," she goes, "I just want to let you know that we get to keep our house now because of the workshop." And she goes, "I'm here with my husband and my kids right now, and yeah, we did like 50K last month off of, I can't remember the ad spend, but she's like, we get to keep our house. All of my employees know that things have turned around and they're not stressed anymore." She's like, "I actually get to go on this holiday with my kids right now and be present with them." She's like, I was like in front of my girlfriend. For a guy whose whole Instagram is like fast cars and Cuban cigars, it was incredibly fucking off brand for me to be crying in front of my girlfriend and like hugging this lady in a cafe, right? I was like walking out like shaking. I was like, God fucking damn it, what are you doing? And that was like, I messaged the sales rep that enrolled him just to let him know like what she had said. I'm like, that's what you did from like, because we actually, with this lady as well, she was actually like a little bit of a hard sell. But Melville like got her over the line. I'm like, if you didn't do that, she might not have her home right now.
Yeah, that's so cool and so hectic to think about. Because it's interesting. A lot of times that I caught up with 2 people this week, and I could tell that maybe the price was a barrier for entry. And I was like, you don't understand. Like, you actually, I know you need this. This is going to change your life. You'll make this money back in 3 weeks, like in a week, potentially, if you put your head down. And it's an interesting position to be in sales when you're physically selling a product, but you also know it's a great fit for them.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting, man. That's a great story, and that's like a life change, not just for her, but for her like generationally for the family. So
I was saying she had like 3 kids with her in the cafe, and I was like looking at them, trying not to cry more.
Yeah, that's really cool. So talk to us about like I want to get to your in-person events and what you do.
Yeah, sure.
But nowadays in where you sort of, not to go into like revenue and stuff like that, but like just staff size and where you're based and what the Bat Cave is, and tell us more about that.
Yeah, sure. So we've got a team of, what are we now, a dozen? So we got Sophie, Kira, and Joseph are ad specialists. Chris is our tech lead, so he's just a fucking tech wizard. I have no idea. I haven't found one thing so far I've been able to like say, hey, can you make this? He's like, yeah, probably, and it's done like that afternoon. Got Tim, who enrolled you guys, Melville, Tiffany, and Jake is sales reps. Shay, who's also my ex-girlfriend, is our bookkeeper, and Jayan's my assistant. So we also had a team of dozen, including myself. we our office lease expires in like September. We're on Adelaide Terrace, like which is in the city. And I say this time and time again. Biologically, I am a 29-year-old male, but spiritually, I'm a 45-year-old divorced dad. Like, I just want to sit in my garage, smoke cigars, and listen to Creed. Like, I'd lose all the money in the world if I could just do that and, like, have a charcoal barbecue grill, right? I'd be over the moon, bro. And I bought an apartment on plan, and it's not got me done till, like, fucking next year. But, like, I want a garage so I can just fucking smoke cigars and listen to Creed in my garage. This is an apartment. And I was like, oh, wait. If you get an office with a massive fucking warehouse, that's like a giant garage. This is a giant garage. And so we got this office. It's 2 stories and it's attached to a warehouse. I'm building like a private gym in it. I'm probably going to get sued by DC Comics because we're putting the Dark Knight logo on the wrestling mats and on the wall and stuff like that. Because I had to tell my accountant, but I told like an accountant, my business coach is like that like keeps me accountable for finance. He sees the post of me signing something on Instagram. He calls me. He goes, "What the fuck did you just buy?" And I'm like, no, like it's the office lease expires. It's the new office lease. He goes, no, what's this about a bat cave? You're not telling me everything. I'm like, no, the office is attached to a warehouse. He goes, why'd you get the warehouse? He's like, you don't need it. And then I was like, no, hear me out. Fucking calm down. I was like, I train twice a day with my trainer. I train in the morning, I go to work, and then I train at night. But currently, I have to drive 20 minutes in the morning to one gym, 20 minutes back, and then get ready. And then in the evening, I got to do 20 minutes that way, and then 20 minutes back. So I drive 18 minutes, 5 days of the working week. And so over a month, it's like 30. It's like a full working calendar week of travel time. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to build a gym in this warehouse, and then I just go from one place from 5 a.m. in the morning till 7 p.m. at night. And then he did the math in his head of like how much I make per hour and stuff. He's like, all right, that's actually a pretty fucking decent idea, Brandon.
What is training? Is there some fighting in there, or just a gym, or what is it?
Yes, it's another thing. So like, we're assembling the League of Shadows essentially. So I've got a full-time trainer, Zach. And, like, we went really fucking all out. Because I don't know if you could tell from my personality type, but I don't do anything fucking casually. There's nothing casual I've ever done in my life. And so we do strength and conditioning, and then we do, like, every single martial art we can possibly get our hands on. So I do, like, boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jits. We've got a UFC, when we build the back cave in like 2 or 3 weeks, we've got a UFC fighter from Perth training me. We've got the state champion and bow staff training me, just because I thought it'd be cool to be able to do the tricks with the stick. I should say bow staff. We've got like a black belt in Krav Maga that's going to train me. And Zach's like, bro, can you just skip all the white belt shit? Teach Brandon how to kill people.
So my boy's been doing karate. And he's just been upgraded on his belt.
How old?
7.
That's like a great age for that.
5 and 6 and 7, sorry. And anyway, so they love it.
Yeah.
And they've been watching Kung Fu Panda. And then my mate comes over the other night. Mate comes over the night and he's like, oh, do you know, it's not Kung Fu, it's Kung Fu. And I'm like, I'm not, literally, it's not my world. I'm like, it might be Kung Fu. Can you shed any light on the Kong versus Kong or not?
I have no idea. Bro, I'm training 5 different martial arts and I'll still get bashed. Watch me. Yeah. He's like, he's entering me in a jiu-jitsu competition in like 4 months. We haven't even started jiu-jitsu. We've just been doing basic wrestling. And I'm like, man, I'll do anything, right? Like my whole life philosophy is fuck around and find out. Because most people don't fuck around for their lives, and as a consequence, they don't find out very much either. I'll try anything. I don't give a fuck. Like, what I lose.
Talk to us about because obviously you're a bit of a, I mean, most business owners have an element of risk taking or whatever you want, adrenaline or ADHD or whatever.
Weaponized autism, that's what it is.
Pretty much, yeah. Like most of the business owners that get the best results just genuinely love it. And hearing you talk about 5 a.m. till 7 p.m., like, you know, and if you had we get it, people have families and things change and situations are different, 100%. But like there's a genuine love for it.
It's and the love of the game.
Oh, I'm gonna figure that out. Like, how do you manage that? Like, love versus workaholic versus balance. What's your take on that whole?
So I have like I said, I'm a bit of a slut for coaching programs. One of my coaches is just for flow and performance. His name's Cameron Norsworthy. He's here in Perth. And one of my key takeaways from him when we started working together really early on was flow, like, flow state.
Yeah.
One of the prerequisites to it is fun. So if you had like a gauge and flow is up here, playful is just before flow. And so when you can find things fun, like for example, like, do your kids like playing, I don't know, video games at all, or are they just playing karate?
We go to Steiner school, so there's like zero technology, which is ironic because I just mentioned they watch Kung Fu Panda, so delete that.
That's it. But so let's say this: like, do they find karate fun?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, 100%, right? They'll just do that shit all day long. But if you like, I'm sure there's probably a subject at school where they're going to sit down, they just don't find it fun. And so if you say like you got to do this for 7 hours straight, they're not going to do it. And so being able to find fun and playfulness and things can actually make it a lot more enjoyable. That's why I like training, because I just in my head I'm like, it's like Batman training. I don't give a fuck if I win or lose. It's just like it's fun and it's silly. And so like that's why like I find I can make ads and build funnels and nurture sequences all day long. Because in my head, it's like I'm fucking building a Minecraft house or something like that. Except this one makes me money on the internet with my Wi-Fi connection, right? And so whenever you can find something that's fun and be a little bit playful with it, it's a lot harder to burn out. Like there's no kids fucking burning out from playing video games all day long. They just find it fun and rewarding.
And a lot of times I feel it's important as a business owner, because you probably excel really highly at your job, it's important to do something you're bad at or getting better at. I remember I started going to Pilates this like January last year, and I'm just getting outworked by like middle-aged mums, full outworked. Like I'm looking at them going, how on earth? I get I'm picking up like more kilos than they are, but it was so inspiring to be, and so I guess humbling to be bad at something. But I'm like, okay, sweet. But now I'm like actually quite good, just not as good as them, but like I think it's important to put yourself out of your comfort zone, and the exercising headspace or whatever you need for headspace. Arguably the most important real estate in the business is what's going on between your ears, right? Like
100%. I whenever I speak to people about, because we've got a sales team of 4 and they're just fucking killers, but you'd have no idea because they're so casual about it. But there's 2 words that I look for when I look for sales reps when I'm recruiting them, and it's athletic nerds. Athletic because every single high-performing sales rep I've ever has had some kind of sport hobby. Like Tim, all Tim does besides sell shit is go to the gym. That's it. That's all he fucking does. His every second weekend for him is a really big weekend, because not only does he do a load of laundry, he also washes his car. It's a fucking big weekend for Tim. Right? Tiffany used to be a competitive bodybuilder. Melville does Muay Thai, and Jake's a fucking gym rat, right? And the athletic part I attribute to, it's uncomfortable, but you just do it anyway, right? It's the old personal development fucking mantra that we've heard time and time again on YouTube, right? And so whenever things get tough in sales, they've got that. There's actually part of the brain, I can't remember what it's called, but they've developed that part of the brain. It's like, I'm just going to keep fucking going anyway, even though this isn't going that great for me. The nerd part is because, just as a side tangent to the original question, the nerd part is you want people that just follow processes. Like a good sales process is you just do the next step in the process. As long as you can hand that process to someone, anyone can pick it up. You shouldn't be selling intuitively, right? It should be just a documented process.
So just stop traffic there for a sec, because that's incredibly relatable to like, Sparky, Aircon, Solar Lord getting an admin on. And it's like usually it's like this Mexican standoff of the admin comes on and they're like, what do you want me to do? And the business owner's like, you tell me what you're going to do. And
I don't know.
There's admin stuff. Like, who's gonna draw first? Who's gonna draw first? And I think there's a personality type that's like, yep, admin done, cool, in, and they don't nurture, look after, like a sales, you can call a sales rep or whatever, they don't nurture, look after, process, they leave them to their own devices, and then like it didn't work. The other personality type is like a massive perfectionist. I've got to make sure step A to Z is marked out in their 40-hour week before they even start. So it's like one doesn't start, one starts and doesn't work, and they're both as bad as each other, all the while you're drawing these fake guns and like, just it's this kind of psycho when you pull it back. Talk us through that process, because like how important is it to have something dialed in before someone starts, or is that something you work on together? Obviously, a sales rep coming in now, completely different. It's like follow this X amount.
Follow this,
But back the first one might have been Tim. I'm not sure, but
or Tim.
Yeah, so talk to us about that. Like, getting moving on that. It's a big decision, big commitment because you're outlaying something for, not a guaranteed return, but an expected return.
Yeah.
So, but just talk to us about that.
Great thing, because that's a great question, because I just did something very similar while we were in Thailand with the team. So do you know the disc profiles, the personality types?
Yeah.
So I'm as fucking high, I don't know if it shows, but I'm as fucking high D as it could possibly be. When I got my test results, I was trying to make up pixels next to D for it to fucking pop up on that one, right? So I'm just shoot from the hip. We'll shoot first, ask questions later. If it broke later, at least we got the money to fix it then, right? Tim and most of the rest of the team are very high. Like, Tim is a fucking high C. Very, like, slow, methodical, wants the process, probably the tism. I don't know if it showed on the sales call, right?
So just for anyone listening back, high D is what?
Yeah, so high D is you're fast and task orientated. People's feelings don't matter too much. It's just like, let's just get this done. We'll build it later. You often just assume people can read your mind. So like, I'll change a process just in my head, and then they'll do it the wrong way. I'm like, you did it the wrong fucking way. They're like, you didn't tell me or write this down. You know what I mean? Whereas C is very like still task orientated, but very process documented. Just do this next step. Very detail orientated.
Calculated, kind of.
Calculated would be a terrific word to describe that as well. Tim and I are best mates, but we're like, I'm high D, he's perfect, like high C. And so we kind of meet in the middle. And so and the rest of the team is kind of like I's and S's and stuff like that. So the first thing you need to do is know where you're mapped out relative to everyone else, because then you'll also know your weaknesses. So I know that my strength is speed, but I know that my weakness is details, right? So we were mapping out some processes and some workflows while we were in Thailand with the team. And it was great after we did the disc profile, because I could come with a Google Doc of like, here's my, and I mean very rough idea of how things will work. Here's my D personality type thing. And then the S's and C's and the I's could go through it, and we could craft it out together. So rather than it being like a broad brush dot point statement from Brandon, we can flesh it out in more detail. And so the first thing you need to do is know where you are, so that you know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, where the other person is, so you can get people that complement you, and then you can work on the process together.
Yeah, cool. When you said Google Doc, I'm assuming you meant 8-minute voice memo that they had to just build.
Yeah. Here's a Slack reaction. Read that.
Yeah. I gave you a thumbs up. You should be able to interpret that.
Yeah, work it out.
Yeah, but I did notice, just external at the live event, I noticed that looking at your team, everyone looked like they wanted to be there. They looked super keen. Obviously, a live event is incredibly exhausting, long days. You've got to socialize after. Can't even imagine the pressure you're under when someone, oh, do you want to come out for dinner? And you're like, shut up, like I just want to go home and have a beer or
decompress. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like big days. You're away from home. You've got to fly to Perth, which is like a 4-hour trip from Sydney or whatever. So, but what do you like? And anyone can relate to this, no matter when you're like where you're listening back and what background you are. What are you looking for in a staff member? Because everyone's had a bad hire and everyone's had an excellent hire. So what are you looking to? I want 2 questions. What are you looking for in a staff member when you interview? And you'd have a lot of experience in that. I'm assuming 12 staff, you're probably on your 20 to 25th
hire. Made plenty of mistakes
like
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking for in a staff member, and how do you go about making sure you retain them?
The first thing that I would say is really the experience. So you can tell a lot from just asking them questions that you would experience on a daily basis and just seeing what they say. I'll give you a perfect example, because I'm trying to hire another digital ad specialist to support the With You members. I've interviewed like 4 people now, all from agencies, and one of them was good. Like, all I'll do is scroll through the questions in school and go, how do you answer that? Or how do you change this ad? Or what feedback do you have for this landing page? And I swear to God, bro, our members that have just done our workshop would fucking do better than them.
So on that interview process, which I think a lot of people miss, and I think as you get more experience, you start to be like, oh, that actual interview and calling referees was probably a pretty good thing, right? And you're looking for key markers in the resume.
Skills
so do they jump
assessment.
around? Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to us about even that process, like knowing that you need an interview. Are you
Yeah.
interviewing on Zoom or are you looking for
Yeah, I do.
person?
I do them on Zoom. So I do regardless what the role is. I do skills assessment first because I don't want to like them before I do their skills assessment. I just want to methodically say, can you do this? Yes or no. And then if they can't,
You will like this, right? I put up on Insta. I heard this like 15 years ago. Excellence is doing what you do well with a good attitude. So there's no point having a good attitude and not being good, and there's no point being good having a bad attitude.
So I do cultural fit second, and so cultural fit is just make. All right, I know you're capable of doing this thing. Do I want to sit next to you in a room 5 fucking days out of the week, right? And so there's another thing that I'll also touch on, particularly for sales reps, and I learned this from Jeremy Haynes. So sales reps, you need to they're in a position where they can take thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from someone. So you need to test their ethics and their morals. And so I do that I do a mock call first, can you sell? And then I try and find them on their bullshit. So I had this fucking nightmare story once with this sales rep. It's a very long story, but I'll keep it very short. He tried to steal fucking money from me. He was high pressure selling prospects. He closed really high, but it's just because he was emotionally manipulating them. He told them he's got this British accent. I hate British accents just because of him. Because if it says in the contract there's no refunds, he go, yeah, mate. If it just doesn't fucking work out for whatever reason, we'll just give you a refund, mate. He never got anyone to sign anything. He would just collect the cash and run. When I called him out on it, he was housemates with one of my mates. Guess what he did? He fucking ran away. He literally left Perth the next day. And then we found all this shit of him online. He's got drug charges in the UK. We think he has a kid. And he's they all met him in Thailand. No wonder he doesn't go back to the UK. And I didn't vet for... Dude, I could have fucking Googled his full name and found all this shit, right? So now what I do is I ethics and moral test people. So what I do is So Tim enrolled you, right? Tim has done a number of things throughout his 2.5-year career with me, which show a fantastic quality of ethics, high ethics and morals. So I think of scenarios Tim's been in where he could have, if he wanted to, absolutely fucked someone. And I describe the exact same situation. I tell a sales rep, so what would you do in this situation? And I'm just assessing if they do something close to or exactly the same Tim would do. The other thing you want to do as well is you want to ease into finding out what they're like in their personal life, because the way they do one thing is the way they do everything else, right? So if they're going around on the weekends cheating on their girlfriends and stuff like that, it's not like they put it in their good boy shoes on Monday and now all of a sudden they're the best person on fucking planet Earth. The way they do something is the way they do everything else, and so you want to ask questions what do you have you got a misso? And I was like, yeah, got him. I almost said it in a British accent because he used to cheat on his girlfriend all the time.
Your British accent was pretty good. I got to be honest. I was impressed.
Because it haunts me at night.
It's into my brain.
Yeah.
You guys, what do you do on the weekends? I got a girlfriend. So what do you and your boys? Says, we go out. So, you got a girlfriend, but do you fuck around with the boys? Yeah, mate, just, she doesn't need to fucking know about anything. So you're looking for shit like that, right? Because if they're doing that then on the weekend, they're going to fuck a customer, right? And so you want to test and put them in these scenarios and find out what they're like. The other thing you want to look for as well is no volatility. So, they're not moving around all the time. They're not up and down. They're not going out on the weekends and then hungover on Monday. You want very consistent. Like I said, Tim, every second weekend's big for Tim because he washes his car and does a load of laundry, right?
Yeah, I look back at some of my hires, and I remember taking on this second-year apprentice when we were really busy, and I called the reference, and it's how was he to this other person? I kind of knew this person I called. He's oh, yeah, he's great. We should know the work for him. And then I hired him, and I remember he was terrible, and I had to let him go. And his mum, it was a 17-year-old, his mum called me, and she was like, give him another chance, please. He needs a chance. And I was like, oh, that was his chance. He had his chance.
Yeah.
And then, but I look back, and this is interesting. That was, for me, a self-inflicted pain. I was making calls to his mum, having conversations with him, paying him 2 weeks out, or because I didn't look at the resume and be like, hey, how come you've had 3 jobs in 18 months? So it's like so often you can be in this self-inflicted world of hurt that you didn't even need to be in there. Speaking to someone the other day, like, and lots of our members get in these conversations. I'm like, how did you even get to that conversation? Like, you should have cut this off 4 days ago, 4 weeks ago, 4 years ago. You shouldn't even be here. So it's just interesting to, like, when you pull yourself back and be like, how did you even get to
I've also never seen anyone ever, like, start poorly and then turn it around. Because at the very start, they should be trying to impress you. So that's, like, their best effort.
So what does the probation look like for you guys? Because and I love that you said that. And just to rehash, if someone's starting poorly they're meant to be on their best behavior. So the reality of, and this is my theory as well, I don't know how correct this is, but if you go down a full blown, first warning, second warning, third, you're looking at 4 to 6 months of just back and forth. You're just better off cutting ties, paying them out, paying them well, and moving on. But also how much of that can be avoided in the interview process. So you probably got an interview process now where you wouldn't have before. I love that you're looking for like ethics and morals, because that's essentially, and the big thing that I always hinge back, and this goes back to what we were talking about like 20 minutes ago. If you're confident in your product, I feel like the sales call is more like a buying call. Should be more like a buying call. Like,
it's more of a filter, to be honest. Make sure we don't get dickheads for it.
Yeah, we have a pretty serious no dickheads policy.
We do.
Because everyone in our platform I would have a beer with, and I found as well that people that can be talked into a sale can be talked out of a sale. Their retention's normally pretty poor with that. So you look at people. Let's say I really convince someone to come in the platform. Cool, they're probably out in 1 to 3 months. It's not worth it.
Have I told you our red flag test in the funnel?
No, but I know the ecom red flag test, but I don't know anything else.
No, this is like it actually is very accurate for assessing their behavior and predicting their future. So the red flag test is actually a strategy I've come up with. I use it with Where You, and I use it with Industry Set. Now that I'm seeing the results, I'm starting to teach it more. So I had a theory back in December, I think, that I could predict someone's show rate or close rate, and also if they how well they did in the program based off of one question. The question was multiple choice. It was, which best describes your approach to learning and implementing new things for the business. Options A and B were variations of, I like having a plan, I know adjustments will need to be made along the way, and I'll just course correct. Options C and D were variations of, I'm going to get frustrated if this doesn't work immediately. All I did for about 3 months, so a full financial quarter, was all that would happen was you'd still, regardless what you said, you could still get in. But options C and D added a little red flag emoji next to their name in the CRM system and when they booked in Slack. Then after 90 days, we looked at all the stats. They had half the show rate of the green flag ones, which were A and B, which meant they were less likely to show, they were less committed. They also had half the close rate. So if a red flag came through, they were just 75% less likely to buy. Then we also measured, they also just had the most basic questions in school and required the most hand holding, and if something didn't work immediately, like they suggested, they just got frustrated. This doesn't work, blah, 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 and started asking for, wanted a refund or something like that. And every single time we get, someone that gets frustrated in the program, because every single program, you've got to do the work. It's probably not going to work immediately, right? You're going to need to do a little bit of work. That's just anything. But we'd always look at the CRM system. There's always a little red flag next to their name. And so what I do now is the red flags, if you're... I mean, hopefully not too many people will fucking find this out and just select options A and B, but if you select options C and D, it just doesn't even let you book anymore.
I'm trying to think what I picked in that. I was like...
I'll give you another one. So Industry Sets red flag test. So Industry Sets for electronic music producers. We had a problem where the red flags were the producers that just were absolutely certain they made the best music on planet Earth. They're the next Avicii, but hopefully they live longer. They're the next Avicii, and they just need to get signed to a label. They're already top shit. The best leads were I'm good, but I want to get better. right? So theirs is which best describes where you're at in your music career right now. A and B are like, I'm good, I'm confident. I think I just need, I want to do better though. And C and D were like, I'm already good at making music. I just need to get signed to labels and book shows.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So talk to us and back to the staff members and like me looking from a distance. You know, everyone was really helpful. Um, what's your thoughts on company culture? Like, how do you curate it? How do you attract it?
Yep.
And then back to my second part of my staff question, retention. I guess culture is a huge part of retention too.
100%.
So yeah, what's your thoughts?
I can't remember who I heard it from, but I like the definition that culture is who people are when no one's looking.
Maxwell,
I like that one.
I'm pretty sure.
Is it Maxwell?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
I
it's
remember
a good quote. It's pretty. Any Maxwell book's pretty much the book of Proverbs from the Bible, just like rehashed. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple key things you're looking for. You need, in my experience, I've always needed to have like a really big, grand vision. So back when, and whenever culture hasn't been good, I didn't have one. And so I can kind of just put the two and two together now, look in retrospect and go, okay, if you don't have a vision, culture is bad. If you do have a vision, they just work themselves out. And so vision's like...
Wait, one sec. Vision, like, is it a one sentence thing for you or is it like a... What is it?
I mean, we have written it down as a one sentence, but it is known in essence that we're going to grow Australian business owners' businesses without them needing an agency. And like reclaim their independence from relying on other people. That's the vision that we have. And the vision for us selfishly is we're going to grow the largest platform in the country that does that, right? So now that we know that's where we're going, it means I don't need to give little micro commands of like, hey, improve this, hey, improve that. Because I'll have team members that just come to me with ideas saying, hey, I just noticed this happened on the call. Let's do this the next time, right? Because they know the direction we're going in. They have the intelligence to be able to work out how to get themselves there. And then rather than giving micro commands of every single little task and project, they know, all right, we're going that way. And it becomes very much, I want to do this so we can get there. Can I have this? And I just go, yeah, you get this resource, you can have this, whatever, right? And so having that clear vision means that you don't need to do all these little micro commands and micromanagement. Everyone just knows we're going that way and they can work it out. And obviously we'll still have tasks and projects and things of that essence. You still need to have, your fucking Asana boards and all that stuff to hold everything together. Can't be all D-personality type. But they'll be able to go, oh, we're all going this way. And I'll just see conversations in Slack or just in the office where like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And they don't even really, I mean, they will from time to time if they need permission for something, but they can just work it out amongst themselves and they do a really fantastic job because there's something excited. I remember Kira gave me, after the Thailand trip, because we did quite a bit of planning there, she said she came back, she's like, I feel very excited about this because like I know what we're doing now. Like in more detail, like we already knew. Like I did an address 6 months ago. Like we're like punching the gas on with you. That's all we're doing, and everyone was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." Rather than like, "Are we going this way? Are we still doing for you?" Then I was like, I just have this job that I come to. They're like, "No, we're doing that all the time now."
Yeah, and I guess that's the whole pivot into, so where use obviously the live courses and just that sort of group help with you partnering up, and then you've got, I don't know what you call with Brandon or whatever,
the back cave.
The back cave, like the one-on-one stuff. But I guess it's all serving that common vision of like excellent service and excellent product and how do we refine and get better. And I keep harping on about it, but that Netflix book, No Rules, it's just an incredible...
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, it's an incredible refresh on just working with A players and giving them free reign, like employing people that are smarter than you. And I even look at, so we've just got a couple of people on board now, shout out to 40 from New Age and Tommy from Rylec. Tommy's coaching our business automation and 40's coaching our community/boardroom situation. And they came to, and it wasn't until I read that book and it was kind of saying, stop micromanaging, let it all go. And they were like, "What do you want me to do?" And I'm like, "No, like you tell me what you tell me what you're doing in this session, and give them free reign and the ownership they have over it. They know the spirit of the place. They know what we want to do. They know who we stand, like what we stand for, and who we are. So, I wouldn't have even come up with that if it wasn't for that sort of, probably exercising and reading." That kind of headspace. What do you do besides gym, Muay Thai sort of fighting land? Like, how are you inputting? I know you got a few business coaches. Do you read? Do you podcast? Like, what's self-development for you?
Yeah, like I used to read. I have you can't see them. We've got a lot of different bookshelves in my living room over there. I used to read pretty extensively, and when I first started kind of getting interested in business, and I hate the word, but entrepreneurship, back in 2018, I read a lot, and I found at the start, let me know if your experience was similar. But when you read a lot of business books at the start, it's very exciting because everything's new. It's like, oh, you learn this new thing, but then eventually as you read more and more, you hit this point of diminishing returns where everything starts to sound like a rehash of each other. And you've got like a 200-page book and you're just trying to find 3 pages that are new to you, right? And then that's when you start like skim reading and doing all that shit, right? Something else I've actually found really interesting, just on the note, if you are feeling bored or exhausted of just reading the same thing, I'll give you a pro tip. Go to a fucking weird section of the bookstore. Like, go to a section, like, not the business section, not the marketing section, not the sales section. Go to, like, the spirituality section or some shit like that. Like, read, like, Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zealand or something like that. Or, like, I don't know, Cybernet, like, anything, right? Because what will start happening is you'll start pulling concepts and theories from completely different genres of thought and seeing how it can apply to your business. For example, I was reading like engineering books for a while and books on systems and going, it was talking about obviously engineering or even like programming, but I'd get a concept and go, oh, and they're like pulling it over here. And then rather than having a very one-dimensional understanding of things, you can pull things from different genres and kind of meld them together and have more of a holistic overview and more well thought out thoughts as well. And so one of the other things I do, like I have a lot of coaches as well, but whenever, actually I was doing this last night, so this is a recent example. I love learning. Like I love learning. I just love knowing new things, but I'll always get a coach. So I'll give you a very personal example actually. So I've drank heavily for the last decade because I came from nightlife. And then I quit. I think I've been sober for like 7 or 8 weeks. I just stopped counting because it's not even like an effort for me anymore. But when I wanted to quit, and I tried in the past before, when I wanted to quit, I was like, okay, if you were trying to give advice to someone else, what would you tell them? And I said, I would get a coach. And so I got Conrad, who actually did the Melbourne workshop like earlier this year. He's an addiction coach. I've actually mentioned him earlier. That's who I was talking about. And I got him. And just immediately just like, fucking seemingly overnight, I just had no urges to drink ever again. And I've been in plenty of situations where I could have, right? Whenever I've gotten a coach, there's a number of different things. Like I've got a personal brand coach right now as well. And there's a couple of things that go on. One, you might be learning something that you already know, but now you're being accountable. 2, someone has already done the homework for you, and it's not high school where you can't copy someone else's homework. You can just copy their homework. 3, on the financial end, like you know how to stop drinking. You know that for free. But the mere fact that you spent some money on it and gave some energy towards it, you're like, well, fuck, I just spent thousands of dollars trying to learn how to build a personal brand. I better do whatever the fuck Erica says. Right? So find those that kind of, and you just put more energy towards it. And wherever your focus goes, energy flows, whatever that saying is, you just become significantly better at it so much faster.
Yeah, I love the idea of, because business is you essentially. I love the idea of getting better as a human, a person, you know, like holistically, like we said. Talk to us about like if someone was to come into a workshop, like what does it look like? I don't know if you can share the pricing on here or you want to wait until yeah, can I share it?
Yeah, it's 4.5k.
Yeah,
like for the 2 days, then 6 months of support. I mean, for now, unless I put the price up in the future, but I don't have plans right now.
Well, I was coming into the sales call, and my head was like, it's going to be in that $5,000, give or take 20%. So if it was 6, I would have paid 6. You know, I was just thinking that. I was like, yeah, cool.
Send you an invoice.
Yeah, yeah. It's but it was like, and then I thought it was a great, like I thought it was cheap for what it was, to be honest. And then but like, what can someone expect? So talk to us about the 2 things that I guess what the workshop is, and then the follow-up help, and maybe some results you've seen from. It doesn't have to be Sparkies, but it's tradies, plumbers,
tradies and stuff like that. Yeah. Or the one-step Google funnels. Yeah. So as soon as you join, before the workshop, we actually added you to the school community. So we've had a bunch of members come in that just, let's say for example, you got to wait to the Melbourne workshop next month, but you joined today. We've had like Blake was, I use him all the time because he was funny. Like Blake is either a plumber or electrician. He came to a Sydney workshop. And he's very like deadpan. I couldn't read him. And you know when I'm doing, well, you've probably done workshops as well. When you're doing a workshop, you're trying to read everyone's faces and read a room. And I'm looking at Blake. I'm like, man, this guy fucking hates me. And then he came up to me in the break and showed me his ad account. And he's walking towards me. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. And then he comes up to me. He goes, hey bro, can you just look over my ad account? I was like, didn't you just join like last weekend? When do you get your ads live? He's like, oh, I just watched the workshop recording from like, because they're in school. I went, oh, okay. And I looked at his ad account. I'm like, this is going pretty well. Like, are these leads buying or are these just like, I don't know, is the conversion tracking wrong? He goes, oh no, bro. And then he takes the laptop, gives it back to me, and he shows all the invoices that have been processed. And I counted up. I'm like, this is like, I can't remember the exact figure. It was close to 10 grand. I'm like, how much did he spend on ads? It's like $550. I'm like, but he's still like,
yeah.
And I'm looking at him. I'm like, are you happy with this? He's like, oh yeah, bro, this is like life-changing stuff. I'm like, okay. So you go to school first, then you get access to all the support from the team. There's AI Brandon now, which I think I talked about in Sydney, which we launched. There's so many more members using now. Brandon is what we call it. And then you come to the workshop, so you get all this stuff set up. We give you all the landing page templates, so you just fill it in, all the nurture sequence templates. You can link it up like ServiceMate or Pipedrive via like Zapier or something like that. And then we do the 2 days. So we sit down with you for 2 days. We teach you how to like fill out your landing pages, the principles to like have a high converting landing page. Actually gives you quality leads too, not fucking contact details like name, email, mobile, like actually quality leads that want to buy. Then we build your meta ads the morning of day 2, and then Google ads the afternoon of day 2. Then we talk about sales, so you can actually sell to people that like just clicked an Instagram ad from you that morning. Now you're talking to that Arvo. And then for 6 months afterwards, at the moment, we've got 3 advisory calls a week with different breakout rooms. So you just hop in a group call. Usually there's like 20 people tops on. Hop into different breakout rooms. There'll be a room for Google. There'll be my room with meta and landing pages. If you need tech support, Chris is in his room just setting up conversion tracking for people. Post in school, get your questions answered. So it's like the 2 days, like you just speed run getting your ads live in literally just 2 days. And then for 6 months afterwards, now that you're actually spending money on ads, we can just hold your hand. We can remote control your mouse when you share your screen with us on Zoom. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. We got so much out of that course. And, and you guys were super cool to deal with because obviously we were meant to come to the first Sydney workshop, or I think it was Sydney. And then the cyclone hit up here and we couldn't come down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I remember.
So I think Cam called Tim and we're like, and it was just, I love just people that are easy to deal with. You're like, yeah, cool, just come to the next one. We'll extend the 6 months. And how much of an important part of your framework is that? Like just being easy and good to deal with?
Yeah, it's 2 things. It's one, I'm just an easy guy to work with. Like I don't fucking care too much. Like I'm not holding someone to a, like I've processed 4 refunds out of like the 600 people or so we've enrolled, and I offered 3 of them. It was only one person that asked for a refund. The other 3 were like, one of them was in, I can't remember what industry, but I think it was cyber security, but he had done like literally everything I asked him to do to a T. Was super positive throughout the whole thing. And even in the contract, it says no refunds because obviously you got to do work and otherwise people will abuse it. But I emailed him personally. I was like, bro, you've done fucking everything I asked you to do, and this still isn't working. Do you just want your money back? And he really appreciated it. The funny thing is, he actually still refers people to the program. He actively, I'm not going to say who it is, but you'll see him in the comments of some of her ads, like, defending me. It's like that. It didn't even work for him. I was like, bro, you fucking did everything. Like, I'll just send you the money back. But just being very easy to work with. And but the other reason that I will not ignore is I'm fucking shit at admin and I just can't be fucked. And so just being easier and easier. Like, actually, that just happened at the gym this morning. There's a member of the gym that's in the With You program as well. And he's from Perth. We've got the Perth workshop today and tomorrow. And I walked out. I was like, are you you're in the Perth workshop, right? You're doing today? Are you coming today? He's like, oh no, like my wife couldn't make it and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, that's cool. Just email Tim. He'll just come to the next one or something like that.
I think that's something to say about being easy to deal with, full stop.
Yeah.
Like across every sector and every industry, that people just enjoy working with people who are easy because it makes the whole experience way more enjoyable.
You can't have a no dickhead policy if you're a dickhead, I reckon.
Well, yeah, now you've been spotted.
You don't need it. Did you fall into the digital marketing world, or did you like always love it? Like it sort of, yeah.
So the age-old story is like, so I used to be a DJ, and I had this mixtape go viral called literally Fuck Genres. And it went like, it was the funniest thing was I was actually trying to end my career by making the worst mixtape possible, and then everyone thought it was funny, and I did like 2 tours of Australia off of it. And I was in LA, I like got invited to Skrillex's office and all this shit, and I was at my mate's house, and we were like working on a track, and then we were exchanging courses that we like illegally downloaded off of the internet because we were fucking broke DJs. And so, like, and I had Ty Lopez's social media marketing agency, whatever the fuck it was called. And back then, 2017, you didn't have Wi-Fi in planes, and so I just had this like 37-hour, 3 different flights trip home from LA to Perth, and so I just binge watched most of this course. Got back to Perth, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is going to be my whole personality from now on." And I just like hyper obsessed over it, and because obviously working in nightclubs, they want to get more heads through the door. So I was talking to the venue manager, like, "Hey, can I use some of this stuff?" He was super supportive. He's like, "Yeah, you can do this." And then like by 2019, I was doing the ads for like a third of Perth's nightlife. Just because obviously when you're a night, like I was a nightclubs 5 nights a week, right? And you just meet lots of people just because it's just more traffic. You just meet more people, you get more leads, right? And so I was just meeting a lot of people, and some of these people had businesses, and I was getting my first couple clients that way. And yeah, like all I was doing from 2019 was just Facebook ads for events, and then I think my barber was my first client. Then he fucking signed me up to a cult, so I had to fucking cancel him. That was a whole nother. It's so fucking annoying to get out of, bro.
What kind of wait? You got to elaborate on that.
I don't want to say the name because like I don't want to get sued.
What were they doing? Was it like farm?
So the way it was positioned to me, bro, was like so. All right, so here's my barber. I was back then. When I was much cheaper, I think I wanted to charge him like $700 a month to do like his Facebook ads and his landing pages and his nurture sequences, all this shit, right? I was just trying to be my first client, bro. And then he positioned it like this personal development course. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm all about that. Let's go. And I knew, like, he said free seminar. I'm like, okay, so you mean sales pitch? I was like, whatever. And then I went there, and then they did the thing, and then the pitch at the end was fucking like, it was a hard pitch, bro. Hard pitch. I remember, like, turning around. They're like, you can leave whenever you want. And I turned around. There's a fucking 2 rows of people blocking the exit. It was high pressure, bro. And then, anyway, I went to go sign. I was like, oh, whatever. It sounds good. And then I was like, wait, I got a weird feeling. I went down, sat down with him. I go, oh, I don't want to do it yet. I don't have $700. He goes, oh, well, I haven't paid you yet for this month. How about I pay for it for you? So he fucking paid for me to enroll in this cult, bro. And then so it was meant to be, I don't want to give away too many details. People are going to work out what it is. I don't want to get sued. But anyway, I like told the venue manager at a nightclub that I was working at. I said, oh, I'm doing this thing. Like, I won't be able to be there for this weekend. And he goes, you going to what? And I said the name. And he goes, bro, I can tell you about that. My mate's fiance went to that. And then she came back on the Monday. She cancelled the wedding and left him. And I went, huh. And then I told my other mate, Jackson, and actually, wait. No, I can't say what it is now. But he had someone else close to him had an experience in it. And then I went on Google. I went on Google and I went, review. And then the first fucking result, bro. It was like a Reddit thread. It's like, hey, I just signed up for so and so. How, like, have other people been to this? Hundreds of comments, saying, bro, it's a cult run. I've had family members chewed up and spit out, bankrupt. And then I'm like, oh my fucking god. And then I was like, I've signed up to a cult. I can't fucking believe it. And
I
then
haven't heard the cult story like for ages.
So long,
bro. And then okay, this is the scary part. So it's the day before I'm meant to go. And then the whole night I couldn't sleep. So I'm like, am I gonna go? Am I gonna go? Like, maybe it won't work now. And I also read like news articles about like what it's like inside. And I'm like, dude, that sounds terrifying. And then where like journalists snuck in and shit like that. And they like got everyone appointed to them. They like exiled them and all this shit. And then the night before, I'm like, I couldn't sleep. And I'm like, okay, well, the next morning I just slept in. Because I was up all night. I couldn't sleep. I slept in and I was meant to be there at 8 a.m. And then I woke up at like 8:30, Bro, I have close to 30 missed phone calls. And what they do is I had like the fucking barber signed me up, but there was like 2 or 3 other people I knew that were in it, and I met them and I was like, you're a weirdo. Why are you on this thing? And then they get them to call you too. They're leaving you voicemails like, hey bro, we're all here waiting for you. Like, where are you? And then it keeps ringing every single minute, bro. I'm not exaggerating. And then I'm like, they're just going to keep fucking calling you, bro. So I pick up. He goes, hey man, we're all waiting down here for you. Where are you? And I'm like, dude, I like Googled it. I don't want to come anymore. I think it's a cult. He goes, what? What do you mean? Like, I don't have any incentive to bring you here. I'm like, dude, there's literally nothing you could tell me to like convince me to come right now. And then anyway, I just hung up. And then I was like, wait, your fucking address was on that form you signed. And so I just FaceTimed my friend all day because I'm like, and then I left the house. I FaceTimed and I'm like, wait, if you just let, I was like, I just went shopping for like a whole day.
That's, I guess, the downside of personal development is eventually you end up in a cult at some point.
Yeah, that was my first one, bro. I missed on the first swing.
Holy crap, that's so hectic. My brother-in-law went to like a dinner party one night at his neighbor's house, and there was something not right, like poncho, BYO poncho kind of vibe. And he
got this call
said it was getting real weird, and they were like, we're going to the toilet, and they left psycho level activity. Anyway, cult story, that was a bonus cult story. I love it. Hey, on you mentioned before like your barber situation, and this is like obviously the first part of the business is like when you start, you're sort of meeting your friends and family connections, DJ, like your social group becomes your social proofing, and for sure. And it sort of expands from there. If you had advice to someone starting a business or wanting to grow, I mean, obviously wanting to grow is you ads because that hits a ceiling, right? Mm-hmm. But at the starting out, like what would you do?
At the starting out, you should put a massive focus on collecting testimonials. Massive focus, because at the start, people don't like being a guinea pig for something. So you need to put like an outweighted effort into collecting testimonials. I'll give you a perfect example, like Industry Set, my other company with Jackson. We have fucking so many testimonials, it's annoying. And we knew at the start because I was like, we need to get a testimonial out of a student. The first testimonial we got out of Siren, she was like crying in her testimonial about like, she's like, I've improved more in 10 weeks than I have in the last 5 years. I still get goosebumps talking about that one to this day. Because I remember the first time I watched it, I teared up. But as soon as we got that one, like the ad performance improved, and then we got more testimonials. Now it's like fucking annoying to update that landing page because we've actually embedded collecting case studies between their like 3 semesters, or really trimesters, and there's just so much social proof that because people just don't like being a guinea pig. So put a massive effort into getting your testimonials.
Would that be like Insta, Google reviews?
If you're a Sparky, getting your Google reviews up for sure. Just getting your Google reviews up. And what also happens is because when you ask for Google reviews, it's like you've given them a bit of homework. So you kind of want to get them some prompts to find it easier. So what you can do is when you ask for the testimonial, you give them the prompt, something along the lines of, hey, a lot of people just don't know what to write. So the people that find it easiest just find it easier to answer these questions, like what situation were you in before coming to us? Did you have any hesitations before coming to us? What results did you get and what did you love the most? And if someone was on the fence, like what would you say to them? They probably won't answer all of them, but if they can just hit some of those, it becomes a very compelling testimonial rather than like Cameron came over and fixed my light switch. He was a nice guy. Like, that's still better than nothing, but you want to consider your testimonials and your Google reviews as a piece of marketing material, which they are. And the people reading your Google reviews, especially for home trade service, they're people right about to buy. They just Googled Sparky near me, and now they're reading the Google reviews. And they're about to call you.
Yeah, so interesting. And for anyone listening back, so a lot of times builders won't, like a builder or a large commercial or facilities manager necessarily won't be looking at Google reviews. They'll be looking at, say, Instagram. So the importance of having yes, Google reviews, but be social proofed across that. A website where a photo tells us 1,000 words. I'm a big believer of like, you can look at one photo of that one job and be like, oh, these guys are legit. Instagram can have the same sort of effect. But I reckon social proofing across that, but highlighting the fact that you might not meet your ideal client. The ideal client is someone giving you a whole bunch of repeat work consistently forever at a high margin. You might not meet them on the Google ad, Meta ad, Facebook ad, but it's the service work that is the most profitable, that keeps ticking over, that fills the gaps, that basically fills the engine room, that gets you out to more people. The amount of everyone that's done a $200 or $500 job for someone and it's blown into like a long-term client forever is crazy. So the importance of getting your name out there and available is amazing. So, okay, Google reviews, social proofing. And then what point would it be like where an electrician came to you? Would you be like, yes, I can help you at that? Are they wanting to grow? Are they wanting to get a new market? Like, what is it?
Yeah, it's usually when you hit like that kind of like revenue ceiling, you know, when you just keep bouncing up and down between two numbers. It's like, I just can't break past this. It's because you're usually tapping out your organic word of mouth referral kind of chain, and now we need something to punch the gas on it. Especially when you've got like 1 or 2 subbies underneath you or team members underneath you. Now you've got payroll to meet. You need that consistent workflow. Can't just be relying on hopium and just hoping a lead comes in or hoping the phone rings. You need something like a tap you can turn on and off, as an analogy I hear a lot of our members see. So once you need that like consistent workflow, you've, you know, refined, like you just haven't I mean, you can if you've just started, but go by word of mouth and referrals to go for a bit. And then when you want to punch the gas and really grow, that's when ads can come in. Because the exciting thing about ads is it just becomes a math formula. Like if you want to make more, you just spend more. It's not like but you can't hope more. I mean, you can. Your efforts will be futile. But yeah.
You can hope more.
Yeah, maybe I would be.
And everyone hits that ceiling, right? And essentially, word of mouth, like, why not just get more people talking about you in a way? But I feel like the product just has to be good. That's my biggest thing. So we're only at a point at Sparky now where I'm 100% confident in the product. I'd pitch it to anyone, like, and I'm like, okay, we're ready to go to market at this point. But I'm so unbelievably confident in the product. It's tried and tested. So I think for me, for everyone out there listening, yes, it's great to have more work, but make sure your product and your pricing remains solid and good, so you can combine the two. So you get more work at good margins, and then you can get more work at good margins. That's the plan, right?
Yeah, like I think of marketing, sales, and product all linked together. So if you have really great marketing but your sales team sucks, then your product can't improve. Right? If you have really good marketing and really good sales, you'll make money, but the product's really bad, you've got negative word of mouth. And so you need to have this link between lots of people know about us and they know it's good, our sales team can convert, and the product's really good, and then it becomes this flywheel, right? So like we had with you for like 2.5, maybe even 3 years, and we would still sell it, but like we weren't punching the gas on it. We were like, cool, let's keep refining it. Our whole focus last year, me and Tim, our whole focus last year was like, let's just make this thing stupid good and just get as many testimonials as we possibly can. Then when we did that, we just punched the fucking gas. Like, I'm pretty transparent with my numbers. Like, With You used to be essentially just like a side hustle on the business at like $25K a month. Now it's $400,000 a month. And it went from $25K a month in like October or September to like $400,000 now.
That's so cool. And then I'd love to hear your take, because you always hear about like group coaching versus one-on-one coaching. And I actually do believe both have a really solid place. Like, I feel like, back to my Pilates story from before, when I'm watching the middle-aged mum perform at a higher level than me, it's evoking emotion in me to be like, no, I'm going to push through. You know, when you're in that group, that sort of,
for sure.
Way to put it, like they can lift, energy can lift, and you can be inspired by testimonials. You can also get it at a cheaper rate, bits and pieces. So I've done a lot of group and one-on-one coaching over the past 5 years. I feel like one-on-one is amazing, but it's not the be-all and the end-all. Like you can get as much from the group and as much from the one-on-one. We run a bit of a combination plate, a bit of a Chinese combination fried rice, you might say, in our little thing. But so I think there's an element of group coaching that's like, well, you're coaching to the dumbest person in the room, so you've got to answer the lowest common denominator, and then someone else is like, well, that's a silly question, but the rising tide does lift all ships. So I do feel, my gut take is you need both, but where do you sit on that? And what do you...
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think you need both. And when you're in a group situation, I would have mentioned this in the Sydney workshop, whenever someone else's question is being answered, if you just sit there and ignore it, it will just be a waste of your time. But if you come in with the mindset of, rather than this doesn't apply to me, thinking, how can I make this apply to me? You'll get significantly more out of the group sessions. It's very akin to what I was speaking about before, which is getting different books from different sections and thinking, how can I make this apply over here? If you can come in with that mindset, you'll just constantly be learning.
Yeah, and I think the difference in that for your course is it's over 2 days. But
Yeah.
if you're currently sitting in a business coaching platform and always helping people and you're paying to help those people, you're an unpaid coach. So I think a lot of business coaching runs off the model of goodwill, that I'll put people in a group and they'll coach downstream. And I feel like there's an element of that that's good, but if you're not also getting lifted up, you need to look at that at that point. So,
100%.
okay, so a couple of like closing questions. Growing a business, is there one sentence, two sentences? Is it like, what encouragement would you have to someone like that? It's like, I want to get to the next part.
You want a logical or emotional one, like encouragement or like a fact one? Or
No, whatever, maybe both, whatever your heart's saying.
Factually, I would say you should be growing your business with math, not feelings.
And what percentage is healthy on that? Because a lot of the coaching trade, I don't know how on top of it you are, but like it's revenue. And it's funny because our feedback on our program is your refine, which ironically does result in an increase in revenue because we're refining the process and we're getting better at our staff management, client management, pricing kind of thing. But yeah, so what is like, is there a healthy growth metric? Or is it as long as the product stays good? Like, what is it?
Yeah, it's difficult to point into a single word because obviously if I make one blanket statement, there's going to be exceptions to the rules. I try and avoid that, but certainly maintaining the integrity of the product. For example, if I really wanted to, I could fucking send with you to $1 million a month next month. That's a math formula I could do with ad spend. Problem is, everything's going to fucking break. Everyone's going to, like, complain, and I'm not going to get any enrollments the month afterwards because no one's going to get any fucking results, right? So it's finding that constant balance. Again, what I was saying, that link between product marketing and sales, right? We, like, started noticing, like, the cracks appearing, and I was like, okay, no, let's go back, fix this, and then we can punch the gas again. So, yeah, it's finding that balance.
Yeah, so I love that, making sure the product's good. So if you're growing is great, reaching out to people is great, but it's no point getting more work if it's not profitable, and it's no point getting a lot more work.
That was the other thing that would happen as well. If I went to $1 million a month in revenue, I'd probably make less money than I do now. Just have more complaints.
Yeah, and
with the model that it is now, like in delivery, No,
it's so interesting, and there's also a point of if you group coaching, like you said before, there's 20 people on the call. If there's 200 people on the call, the product diminishes. So we add more calls, that
Absolutely.
kind of stuff. So I think if everyone's out there listening, keep your eyes on your product, and that has to. If you've got to say no to work to maintain the product, perfect. But your eyes are always on. I love what you said. Then if you're not working on the business, or if you're a bit stretched, it's usually a hiring indicator. So it's like combining that wisdom, and in wrapping up, like if you had a final sign off, what would you, if you had like Eminem style? Oh no, I've got two questions. The first question, but after my final sign off, is if you had one track to close the party, DJ style, one track.
Oh, what did I always close with?
You talk about a track.
I used to always close with "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith.
Oh, the big like
Yeah.
Yeah, arms around in a circle, singing. And
yeah.
Cool.
Close my eyes. That one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great track. And what about one shot, one opportunity to sort of like encourage people. What's your final sign off?
I have never improved in a comfortable state, and so usually discomfort is a symptom to growth. Very akin to when you go to the gym for the first time and then your body hurts the day afterwards, but then your muscles get a little bit bigger. No one improved at anything by being comfortable. And so one question you should ask yourself every morning, and you should write it down and journal about it as a prompt, is what am I avoiding today? And write that down, because that's where the work is.
That's I love that. And someone said to us last week, it was really interesting, talking about find the pain point, which is like uncomfortable, but also in the business. So it's usually the pain point, like, I can't retain.
I don't like looking at the P&L statement. Or like, I don't like this, or I don't like that. That was me for ages. Like, I don't want to fucking look at that.
Yeah, exactly. So find the pain point, and it might be something, and then you build a process to suit that. So okay, once a month I'm looking at the P&L, or okay, in the sales call now we're going to do, in the onboarding we're going to do this. I love that thought pattern. So thank you so much for hanging out and being a part of it. And if you want to, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you?
Just open your phone, you'll see me on Instagram.
Yeah. And is it Insta, or is it like, or is it just landing page? What's preferred
Just
method?
go to ahoy.weu.com.au. Those are all the details about whether you can see all the testimonials and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, and love it. Love what you do. And like, when I finish this, don't hang up this call.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for hanging out,
Thank
and
you
we'll
so
see you guys
much.
soon. Bye.
Thanks, guys.